Good morning, children. Today I am going to start with respiratory system of earthworm. Last class I have discussed till the digestive system of earthworm, and now we are going to start with respiratory system. The earthworm has no special respiratory organs like gills or lungs. Respiration actually takes place through the body wall. The outer surface of the skin is richly supplied with blood capillaries, which will aid in the diffusion of gases. Oxygen diffuses through the skin into the blood, while carbon dioxide from the blood diffuses out. The skin is kept moist by mucus and coelomic fluid and facilitate the exchange of gases. Okay. When we speak about the respiratory system of earthworm, like other higher organism, it does not possess any special respiratory structure for respiration, like lungs, gills, book lungs, trachea, like that. Then how it respire? Actually, we can observe the external structure or skin of the earthworm. It look like moisty. It is due to the secretion of mucus and the coelomic fluid. Because of that mucus and coelomic fluid, the skin of the earthworm, it's moisture in condition. Okay. So how the actually, and also the skin of the earthworm is richly supplied with blood capillaries carrying the blood. Then during respiration, oxygen from the atmosphere diffuses into the mucous membrane or moist layer of the skin and then enter into the blood capillaries. The same way, carbon dioxide in the blood is passed out through the diffusion process. So hence there is no special respiratory structure we can see in the earthworm. Next, circulatory system. Lambetomorti exhibits a closed type of blood vascular system consisting of blood vessels, capillaries and lateral cords. Okay. Already we have discussed in the lesson number 2 itself. There are two types of circulatory system. One is open circulatory system, another one is closed circulatory system. What is meant by open circulatory? What is meant by closed circulatory system if we speak? In open circulatory system, there is no capillaries which supply the blood to every tissues of our body. So it has arteries. From the arteries the blood flows out, and both the cells from the blood it has taken the oxygen and whatever things necessary for the physiological activity of the cells. So that is called open circulatory system. What is closed circulatory system? The organism has blood vessels which are end with capillaries, and the capillaries supply the blood to the tissues of every part of the body. So that's what closed circulatory system. In that way, circulatory system of Lambetomorti, that is earthworm, consists of closed type of blood vascular system and which consisting of blood vessels, capillaries and lateral cords. Two median longitudinal vessels run above and below the alimentary canal as dorsal and ventral vessels of the earthworm. There are paired walls in the dorsal vessels which prevent the backflow of the blood. The ventral vessel has no walls and is non-contractile, allowing the backward flow of blood. In the anterior part of the body, the dorsal vessel is connected with the ventral vessel by 8 pairs of commissural vessels or the lateral cords, lying in the 6th to 13th segment. These vessels run on either side of the alimentary canal and pump blood from the dorsal vessel to the ventral vessel. The dorsal vessel receives blood from various organs in the body. Ventral vessels supply blood to the various organs. So blood glands are present in the anterior segment of the earthworm. They produce blood cells and hemoglobin, which is dissolved in the plasma and gives red color to the blood. Okay. So blood glands are present in the anterior region of the earthworm. Actually, in our body, blood cells are produced in the bone marrow, like RBCs, WBCs, platelets or the blood cells which are produced from the bone marrow. In earthworm, the blood cells and as well as the hemoglobin are produced by the blood glands which are present in the anterior segment of earthworm. Okay. So let's enter into the diagram. With the help of diagram, we can see the circulatory system, children. It is clearly given in this diagram. We can see a pink color tube in the center. It is called the alimentary canal. Above the alimentary canal, we can see two straight lines. One is dorsal vessel, which is present above the alimentary canal, which is called a dorsal vessel, and the structure which is run below the alimentary canal is called ventral blood vessels, right? So there are two blood vessels which run, one is above the alimentary canal, another one is below the alimentary canal. So the alimentary canal which is the blood vessel which is present above the alimentary canal is called dorsal vessel, and the blood vessel which is present below the alimentary canal is called ventral vessel. It is clear, okay? Next we will see about lateral hearts. What is mean by lateral hearts? The lateral hearts is nothing but on either side of the dorsal and ventral blood vessels, it is connected with a tubular structure, and this tubular structures are called lateral hearts. This tubular structures are called lateral hearts. So what is lateral hearts? You will have as a 2-mark question. And this is about the structure of circulatory system. And one thing, in the dorsal blood vessels, there are a pair of valves which prevent the backflow of blood. But when we see the ventral blood vessels, there is no valves which are present in the ventral blood vessels. It allows the backflow of water. And the function of dorsal blood vessel is which receive blood from all parts of the body. And the function of ventral vessel which supply blood to all parts of the body. That's it. Okay, children. So if you go through, you can clearly understood about the circulatory system. Once again, I go through it. Lampeto Moretti exhibit a closed type of blood vascular system consisting of blood vessels, capillaries, and lateral hearts. Two median longitudinal vessels run above and below the alimentary canal as dorsal and ventral vessels of the earthworm. There are paired valves in the dorsal vessel which prevent the backflow of the blood. Okay. At the same time, the ventral vessel has no valves at all and is non-contractile, allowing the backward flow of blood. In the anterior part of the body, the dorsal vessel is connected with the ventral vessel by 8 pairs of commissural vessel or lateral hearts. Okay. So the lateral hearts are 8 pairs, okay, which are present in the anterior region of the earthworm only, from the 6th segment to 13th segment. These vessels run on either side of the alimentary canal and pump blood from dorsal vessel to the ventral vessel. And dorsal vessel receive blood from various organs. Ventral vessel supply blood to the various organs. Blood glands present in the anterior segments of the earthworm, they produce blood cells and hemoglobin, which is dissolved in the plasma and gives red color to the blood. Next one is nervous system. The bilobed mass of nervous tissue called suprapharyngeal ganglia lies on the dorsal wall of the pharynx in the 3rd segment is referred as the brain, and the ganglion found below the pharynx in the 4th segment is called the subpharyngeal ganglion. And the brain and the subpharyngeal ganglia are connected by a pair of circumpharyngeal connectives. They run one on each side of the pharynx. Thus, a nerve ring is formed around the anterior region of the alimentary canal, and the double ventral nerve cord runs backward from the subpharyngeal ganglion. The brain, along with other nerves in the ring, integrates sensory inputs and command muscular responses of the body. Okay. If we speak about nervous system, a bilobed mass of nervous tissue, these are called suprapharyngeal ganglia, which are present on the dorsal wall of the pharynx in the 3rd segment. And this suprapharyngeal ganglia present in the 3rd segment referred as brain. And below the 3rd segment, that is in the 4th segment, there is another one structure called subpharyngeal ganglion. So there are two ganglions, one is in the 3rd segment, another one is in 4th segment. Then the ganglion which is present in the 3rd segment is called brain, and fourth segment is called subpharyngeal ganglion. The brain and the subpharyngeal ganglia are connected by a pair of circumpharyngeal. Circum means what? Surrounded. Both the ganglions are surrounded and connected with each other by a structure called circumpharyngeal connectives. They run one on each side of the pharynx. Thus, a nerve ring is formed. So, now if we look both third segment suprapharyngeal and fourth segment subpharyngeal ganglion, when both the ganglions connected on either side by a circumpharyngeal connectives, and it looks like a ring-like structure which is present around the anterior region of the alimentary canal. From that, there is a double ventral nerve cord runs backward from the subpharyngeal ganglion. From the subpharyngeal ganglion, arises a pair of double ventral nerve cord till the backward. And the brain, along with other nerves in the ring, integrate sensory inputs and command muscular responses of the body. Right. Next one is the earthworm's receptors are stimulated by a group of slender columnar cells connected with the nerves. Photoreceptors, the sense of light which is found on the dorsal surface of the body is called photoreceptor, and the receptor which is responsible for taste is called gustatory, and the receptors which are responsible for smell is called olfactory receptors, are found in the buccal cavity. Tactile receptors, that is sense of touch, chemoreceptor, that is detect chemical changes, and thermoreceptor which detect the changes in the temperature are present in the prostomium and the body wall. So, these are the various receptors which feel the different senses in the body and surroundings, and it's given as 3-mark question, or sometimes easily you will get as a 5-mark question. List various receptors can be seen in the body of earthworm. Okay, these are the various receptors: photoreceptor, gustatory receptor, olfactory receptor, tactile receptor, chemoreceptor, thermoreceptors, and its function also, right? Next one is excretory system. Excretion is the process of elimination of metabolic waste product from the body, that we know very well, isn't it? What does mean by excretion? It is a process by which metabolic waste product are removed from the body. On earthworm, excretion is affected by segmentally arranged minute coiled paired tubules called nephridia. Okay, in earthworm, excretion takes place by segmentally arranged minute coiled tubules. It is called what? Nephridia. So, simply if we speak, excretion in earthworm has taken place through the nephridia. Then pharyngeal there are 3 types of nephridia we can see. One is pharyngeal or tuft nephridia, present as paired tufts in 5th to 9th segment. Next one is micronephridia or integumentary nephridia, which are attached to the lining of the body wall from the 14th segment to the last, which open on the body surface. And next one is meganephridia or septal nephridia, which are present as a pair on both sides of intersegmental septa of the 19th segment to the last and open into the intestine. That's it. And these are the 3 types of nephridia and its location if we can see in the earthworm. You will get as 3-mark question, which is the respiratory structure of, or name the respiratory structure of earthworm, mention its types and its location. Okay, this you will get as a 3-mark question. The meganephridium has an internal funnel-like opening called a nephrostome, which is fully ciliated, and the nephrostome is in the preceding segment and the rest of the tube is in the succeeding segment. Okay, when we meganephridium, it has a internal funnel-like opening, and this opening is called a nephrostome. The nephrostome is in the preceding segment and the rest of the tube is in the succeeding segment. This tube consists of 3 distinct divisions. Okay, children, please refer the diagram for the structure, children. This tube consists of 3 divisions called ciliated, the glandular and muscular region. The waste material collected through the ciliated funnel is pushed into the muscular part of the nephridium by the ciliated region, and the glandular part extract the waste from the blood, and finally the waste exit out through the nephridiopore. Okay, so the waste there are three parts we can see in the excretory tube of the nephridiopore. One is ciliated, another one is glandular, and the third one is muscular region. First, the waste material collected through the ciliated funnel and then pushed into the muscular part of the nephridium by a ciliated region. Next, in the glandular part, the extract of the waste material from the blood has taken place, and finally, waste exit out through the nephridiopores. Besides nephridia, special cells on the coelomic wall of the intestine called chlorocogen cells are present. They extract the nitrogenous waste from the blood of the intestinal wall into the body cavity to be sent out through the nephridia. Okay, so so far we have discussed that nephridia or the excretory structure in the earthworm. Apart from that nephridia, some special cells also have seen in the body of earthworm, and which are present in the coelomic wall of the intestine, and the name of the cell is chlorocogen cells. They extract the nitrogenous waste from the blood of the intestinal wall into the body cavity to be sent out through the nephridia. Next, reproductive system. Earthworm are hermaphrodite or monoecious, that is a male and female reproductive organ are found in the same individual. That is called what? Hermaphrodite, that you know very well. Self-fertilization is avoided because two sex organs mature at different times, which means the sperm develop earlier than the production of ova. That condition is called protandrous, thus cross fertilization takes place. In this paragraph, you can expect two different types of question, children. One is what is mean by protandrous. For that the answer will be, in earthworm the sperm may develop earlier than the production of ova, and this condition is called protandrous. And another one question, in earthworm self fertilization is not taken places or avoided, why, or give reason. That is then another one question. Okay, for this question you can give an answer like, there are two sex organs present in the same earthworm, but both the sex organs are not mature at the same time. Instead, they have matured at different seasons. Sperms are matured earlier than the ovum. So, in that case, there won't be a chance of what? Self-fertilization. For self-fertilization, both the gametes, that is sperm and ova, mature at simultaneous time. Okay, but in earthworm, that both the gametes are maturing at different seasons. Since it is maturing at various seasons, there won't be a chance of self-fertilization. So, cross-fertilization is taken place in the earthworm. In the male reproductive system, two pairs of testes are present in the 10th and 11th segment. The testes give rise to the germ cells or spermatogonia, which develop into spermatozoa in the two pairs of seminal vesicle. And two pairs of seminal funnels called ciliary rosettes are situated in the same segment as the testes. The ciliated funnel of the same side are connected to a long tube called vas deferens. The vas deferentia run up to 18 segment where they open to the exterior through the male genital aperture. And the male genital aperture contains two pairs of pineal setae for copulation. A pair of prostate gland lies in the 18th 19th segment. And the secretion of the prostate gland serves to cement the spermatozoa into the bundles known as spermatophores. Regeneration, it is a characters of earthworm. Earthworms have their most important organ in the first 20 segments. If earthworm gets cut off after the 20th segment, the anterior half can regenerate while the posterior half shall disintegrate after some time. Why we will get questions sometimes like this. When we cut the earthworm after 20th segment, first 20th segment, that is first half of the segment can regenerate the last part, but the segment which are present after the 20th segment cannot develop its remaining parts. Give reason, because all the important organs are present in the first 20th segments only, so they can regenerate the last segment, but the last segments cannot have the important organs, so they cannot get their last part. Okay, this is the reason. The female reproductive system contains a pair of ovaries lying in the 30th segment. Each ovary has a finger-like projections which contain ova and a linear series. Ovaries funnel are present beneath the ovaries which continue into oviduct. Ovaries are continued as a tube-like structure called oviduct. These oviduct join together, open on the ventral side at a single median female genital in the 14th segment. So ovaries, there are two ovaries on both sides. Below the ovaries, oviduct are running parallelly towards the back side, and which are open into a common opening be present on the ventral side of the single median female genital pore present in the 14th segment. And spermathecae or seminal receptacle are three pairs lying in segments of 7th, 8th and 9th opening to the exterior on the ventral side between the 6th and 7th, 7th and 8th, 8th and 9th segments. So they receive the spermatozoa from the partner and store during copulation. Then a mutual exchange of sperms occurs between the two worms during the mating. Actually, during the mating time, the two worms which come and attach on the opposite side and exchange their gametes. One worm has to find another worm and they mate juxtaposing opposite gonadial opening, exchanging the sperm. Mature egg cells in the nutritive fluid are deposited in the cocoons produced by the gland cells of the clitellum, which also collect the partner sperm from the spermatheca, and fertilization and development occurs within the cocoons which are deposited in the soil. After about 2 to 3 weeks, each cocoon produces a baby earthworm. Development is direct and no larva is formed during developmental stage. That's it. Next, life cycle. Say about life cycle, I'll discuss with you in my next class, children. And today's homework, circulatory system of earthworm. Write note on or explain the circulatory system of earthworm. This is the only question you will get as a homework. Complete mark. Bye.